Yo, yo, hey guys, it's David here from Social God. We are back. It's been a little bit of a break, but as you can see, I am finally back I am now in my new unit, so I'm happy about that, and we're going to start pumping out some more content for you soon. So, getting back to the 10 or 20 people that you should follow in the game, I'm going to introduce you now to Jace the Pickup Scientist. Now, I actually reacted to a video of this before, but I forgot to press record, didn't I? So this is my first video back after a bit of a break. So let's jump into this, guys, and let's see about Jace the Pickup Scientist. I think his methodology is pretty cool. He's more of a scientist, theoretical kind of guy, but as you can see, he's very successful. So let's just dive into it and see what Jace the Pickup Scientist has got to say. And let me figure out how to use this equipment again. Here we go.
The laws of game and social dynamics are so precise that mastery over these laws will give you the power of foresight and predictability. To be honest, they shouldn't even be called laws. They should be called formulas because they're that consistent. Ignorance of the laws are not an excuse or an exemption from the consequences of violating the laws. Just because you don't know them and violate them out of ignorance doesn't mean the laws will stop violating you back. So if you know what's good for you, heed my warning. Learn the laws. Today I'll be teaching you the fundamental laws of the game. Attention. The first law is that there are no inherently good or inherently bad women. Every woman has within her the exact same capacity for good as she does for evil. Women will switch their method of operation from good to evil or vice versa, depending on what she believes her most pressing and immediate needs for safety and comfort are. Basically, she's going to employ good or evil, depending on what she believes will get her closer to a feeling of safety, comfort, and certainty. Ultimately, they're just another organism trying to survive, you feel me? It's just that sometimes they feel like in order to meet their selfish endeavors and objectives, they have to run through you, step on your neck, and break your heart. And I promise you, even though it might not sound like that, it really isn't malicious most of the time. The best thing about this law is that it forces you to live in accordance to it by making you not take anything a woman does to you seriously, good or bad. Because
Correct.
those who don't live in accordance to the law end up bitter and resentful. Not to mention it completely blinds them from seeing a woman's true capacity for good and evil. There are absolutely no exemptions to this law. Going off the previous law, the next law is a law of change, which states that everything in the game is always subject to change. No particular circumstance, situation, or position is permanent in the game. The concept of permanence does not exist here, and that's primarily because of female nature and how temporary women's emotions are. Whenever someone says a woman's emotions are temporary, people always think about that in the negative, even though that lack of permanence in emotion works both ways, positively and negatively.
Yes, let's talk about a woman's emotions being temporary. So basically, they're very fluid. Okay, a lot of content creators have started talking about this. Basically, especially linking back to Dr. Ryan Teraban, where he talks about the fact that you need to use the I feel right now sandwich. So the sandwich. So whatever a woman's emotions is, whether it's I hate you or I love you or I hate you, you have to put the words I feel in front of that and right now behind that, because I feel that I hate you or I feel that I love you is a more accurate description. Because remember, the lady's dealing with her feelings and her emotions. So when she says, I feel like I hate you, that's, it does come across as, pretty intense. But the flip side of that is you always got to take it what she says as a grain of salt too, because she'll say, I love you. But we have to, again, go back to these laws of game. She's saying that I love you right now. So let's continue with this from Jace the Pickup Scientist. They are very fluid.
A woman can go from being completely indifferent about you to hating your guts and everything you stand for, just as easily as she can go from despising you to being completely obsessed with you. It is not harder or more time-consuming to take a woman from negative to positive than vice versa. So don't lose hope when a woman isn't behaving positively towards you. But at the same time, don't get too comfortable when she does either. You feel me? Now, the only exemption to this law is when...
Let's replay that, yeah? So don't get too hung up if she's in a bad mood, but also don't get too comfortable when she's in a good mood. Let's replay that.
To being
Here we go.
works both ways, positively and negatively. A woman can go from being completely indifferent about you to hating your guts and everything you stand for, just as easily as she can go from despising you to being completely obsessed with you. It is not harder or more time-consuming to take a woman from negative to positive than vice versa. So don't lose hope when a woman isn't behaving positively towards you. But at the same time, don't get too comfortable when she does either. You feel me?
Hear that? So don't get too comfortable when she's actually being nice to you either.
Now, the only exemption to this law is when you guide her into hypnotic rhythm. That, in my experience, is the closest thing to permanence you'll ever get.
Which I think is also another way of saying it's containment. There's a way of putting her in containment, I think, which I'm just reading up on containment now. So, but hypnotic rhythm is she's transfixed, she's in your aura, she's moving to your rhythm, all of that kind of stuff.
If you don't know what hypnotic rhythm is, go and watch my series on it.
Check that out.
YouTube and TikTok. The next law is a law for refocusing your attention in the game. It states that women are never to be seen as the end goal, the major point, or the primary focus in the game. Women should simply be viewed and used as a litmus test for your psychological and emotional strength. What they are.
That's another great point there, guys. The whole purpose of us improving ourselves is improving ourselves. So the girls are not necessarily the focus. They are something that they are a mirror to our value as a man. Yeah, they're a mirror to our value as a man in this world. The higher quality, the higher caliber ladies that you can attract in your life, that is a mirror to you. So if you're not attracting high quality, high caliber, attractive ladies, that is a mirror to your SMV. If you want to know what SMV is, you just have to Google it, yeah? So a lot of the guys in the manosphere space talk about SMV, and basically SMV is your sexual market value. So if you're not attracting your ideal woman, it's not the woman's fault, it's your fault because your SMV, you're not projecting your SMV in accordance to what it should be. So you actually need to work on your own SMV in order for women and the world to see you as attractive, yeah?
Primarily is a test and a measuring stick for your strength and confidence. And if you use them correctly, they can become a very valuable tool for your own self-actualization. There is absolutely nothing in the world that can test your confidence and strength quite like a woman can.
Hear, hear.
No business or athletic endeavor, no fitness journey, nothing. A woman's tests are unique to only them because of the very specific way they get you to psychologically invest. You see that? Their tests revolve around getting you to see them as the priority. That's why you see a lot of cases of men that succeed in every other endeavor, but still manage to fail woefully with women.
Yeah, so I've actually noticed this myself, I'm just going to replay the last 30 seconds.
Invest.
So their whole game, a terminology that I've come up with is relationships are not about the guy. The relationships are completely about the girl. And I've got a concept coming soon, which is another video that I'll show you guys. But essentially, this point that he makes here, where the girls want you to psychologically invest in them, to see them as the most important thing in your life. And it's important that you never allow Eve to hand you that apple.
For your own self-actualization. There is absolutely nothing in the world that can test your confidence and strength quite like a woman can. No business or athletic endeavor, no fitness journey, nothing. A woman's tests are unique to only them because of the very specific way they get you to psychologically invest. You see that? Their tests revolve around getting you to see them as the priority. That's why you see a lot of cases of men that succeed in every other endeavor, but still manage to fail woefully with women.
Will
because
Smith,
they're
you poor
violating
bastard.
the law and making the woman their priority. And in case you were wondering,
There you go. So they're violating the law of game and they're making the woman the priority, which is what Disney is, which is what Western society wants you to believe. That's what marriage is. They want you to make the woman the priority. I get it. I understand it. But guys that are in the game will know this. that the matrix is not there. The matrix is not designed to help us. We take the blue pill or we take the red pill. Yeah, you take the blue pill, you stay in fantasy land forever. You take the red pill and you see how far down the rabbit hole really goes. Yeah?
There is absolutely no exemption to this law. Failure to live in accordance to this law will lead to, well, this.
Being cheated on. And being upset with it.
I've had a feeling. And maybe I love her a little more than she loves me.
There we go.
I put all of my importance on her. And my friends, they expressed that to me. They said, yo, yeah, you're spending a lot of time with her, man.
Turn this image into your mind every time you feel like you want to make a woman your priority. The next law is that...
Hear that? How brutal is that? Burn that image into your mind next time you want to make a woman your priority. That is insane level stuff.
Game is primarily psychological for men and physiological for women. Another way to put it is that men improve their chances in game by improving their inner confidence, and women do the same by improving their outer beauty. In essence, your inner confidence is what determines the level of beauty in a woman you can get. I don't need to ask a man how confident he is. I just need to look at his woman.
That's going back to that SMV thing, you know, your SMV, your inner confidence as a man determines your SMV, which determines the quality of relationships that you have.
Because having a highly desirable woman in your life demands a higher level of confidence. Now, the obvious exemption to this rule is that not every beautiful woman has the self-esteem to match. But honestly, even those cases don't have a long shelf life because the universe will always correct itself. That's how God created it. The next law is that psychological positioning...
Hear that? The universe will always correct itself. How cool is that? Even in dating and relationships.
...is everything in the game. This particular law of game exists in accordance to a law of female nature, which is that it is biologically impossible for a woman to consolidate on a man she sees as her inferior. A simpler way to put it is that women do not want a man they think they can do better than. Women are looking for the absolute best option within their reach that they can find. Because for them, getting chosen by someone they see as superior is the ultimate validation. So game exists to help men psychologically position themselves above women because it is impossible to get a woman otherwise. The whole point of game is to make her view you as a catch and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Failure to live...
And also that too, that point, the whole point of game is to get her to see you as a catch. Not necessarily just to get her to see you as a catch, because that's what you want to do. But you have to believe internally that you are a catch. You have to actually believe that you are a catch. If you don't believe that you are a catch, you are not going to succeed with women, because the frame is wrong. Yeah, the frame is not set right, and so basically, Dr. Ryan Teraban's thing is, the adored and the adorer. Yeah, so if you're in the adorer category, you're fucked. So you want the woman to be the adorer and you to be the adored, because that positions yourself higher than her, not in a bad way, but sexually and physically and all that kind of thing. And then she's attracted to you. Whereas if you're positioned lower than her, she thinks she can always do better than you, which is hypergamy, which basically means you're going to have a shit relationship because she's always going to be upset and testing and comparing you to other guys in her life. Super deep shit.
In accordance to this law will lead to you getting no bitches. I'm not even trying to be funny. Every woman you will ever be able to pull in your entire life would have seen you at some point as psychologically superior to her, plain and simple. The next law of game states that relationships are an exchange of value. All relationships, especially those between men and women, are fundamentally transactional. All relationships are based on a need that both parties have and also recognize the other party as being able to meet.
If you want to read a good book on this one, guys, read The Value of Others by Dr. Ryan Teraban. It's exactly what he's saying there, that all relationships are transactional, whether it's money, intimacy, companionship, support, anything. And all relationships, not just romantic relationships, but all relationships are an exchange of value. Yeah?
No relationship can exist between two people if both parties didn't have needs that could be met by each other. If both parties truly feel fulfilled in themselves, then there's no need for the relationship to exist. It is impossible to seduce someone that has absolutely no need for the values you provide or is completely fulfilled in those areas. Just like you would never leave the house to go get more milk if you already have milk in the fridge. I realize there's going to be a lot of people that previously believed that you needed to be fulfilled first before you enter a relationship. But if those people were to take a close introspective look at their own lives and experiences, they'll come to find that all relationships exist and survive based on what both parties are getting out of it. Whether that be social, psychological, emotional, physical, mental, monetary, or a unique combination of some of all of those
It's
things.
all
Think
comes
about it.
together.
Every single breakup you will ever experience in your life will happen because of just one reason. And that reason is that one party feels like they're not getting out of the relationship as much as they're investing into it.
Generally, the woman will do that. Generally, the guy is not living up to the woman's expectations, and the woman basically says that she could do better elsewhere. So, and hence why men, sometimes we have such an issue with relationships. It's hard because we do everything that we possibly can, and then she's still not happy. Go back to Google women and happiness, you know. So Dr. Ryan Teraband says never try and make your woman happy, because it's impossible. She's always going to want more, yeah? So read that. Fucking amazing.
That's it. No matter what the reason for the breakup is, they're really just saying the exact same thing. This little deal that we have is not a good deal for me anymore.
Correct.
Now, for the sake of being thorough, this law has a sub-law attached to it called the law of the pulling force. Something I touched on a little bit in a video about texting girls.
Wow.
And in that video I said, before you text a girl, you have to ask yourself two questions. One, is there a positive reason or a benefit she stands to gain that'll pull her towards texting you back? And two, is there a negative emotion or consequence that she can only avoid by texting you? The answer to those two questions is no. Go ahead and put the phone down, buddy. She's not texting you back. When it comes to women, there always has to be some kind of pulling force that will attract her towards you. They always have to have a strong reason to be motivated to get closer to you. And in my personal experience, the strongest reasons are the unique value you provide. Because, say it with me, relationships are transactional.
High level stuff, guys. Very high level stuff.
And I'm sure this is a little redundant for me to say, but just to put it out there are no exemptions to this law. Failure to live in accordance to this law will make you not just a naive and oblivious man, but it'll also make you a man that isn't meticulous or thorough enough about the value you provide in the relationships you're in. Why I love this law so much. It forces you to become vigilant about not being in a value deficit to someone else.
All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there, because it's going to, this video goes for half an hour. So we did 15, 20 minutes there, right? So this video actually has another 25 minutes in it, right? Now, this is just one of many. There's probably, 10 to 20, maybe even 30 or 40. I don't know, maybe 50 guys in the men's dating scene that you should be following. And this guy, Jace, the pickup scientist, has a lot of the same themes as Dr. Ryan Teraband. He's just a natural player, and you can tell, like, he's a jacked guy, good looking. So, he's super, super successful with women, right? So, I'm going to leave it there, but as you can see, Jace, the pickup scientist, is really, really good. He started on TikTok, I think, originally, but now he's sort of moving those videos over to YouTube. But guys, that's me, David here from Social God, checking out. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.